Yo, Todd here, Center Valley Customs. Welcome back if you're back. Welcome if you're not. Today we are back on the 85 Buick LeSabre Estate Slammed wagon. That's right, this thing's got a full air ride kit under it. I did a 3-part video series. If you haven't seen those videos, please go check them out. But today we have a handful of things we can do. I don't know exactly how this is all going to play out. Okay, we can do dent repair, which is actually what we're going to start with. We could clean up the interior, or we could get into this engine bay, clean that up, and probably get this thing to run a little better. We're going to start with dent repair and just see how it plays out. However, before we get there, I need your help on a little something. Wheels. I am undecided what I want for wheels. Okay, so I need your help. I'm going to throw up some pictures here. I want you to say either stock, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, however this plays out. So we can stick with the stock wheels, obviously. I do like them. A lot of people like them. However, if we do stay with the stock wheels, we got to wrap them in some other rubber because these are all weather checked and old. But if we stay with the original wheels and we wrap it in new rubber, do we stick with the white wall? Or do we go with just a black sidewall? So that's option 1. Option 2, which was more or less my go-to right off the bat, Steelies. Now we got to keep it cheap. So what I'm thinking is just like a Speedway Steely. They are a smoothie, more or less, with a baby moon. Now I did a little AI rendering thing, and I'm going to be honest, it didn't look very good. However, that was with like a 15-inch or like a smaller rim. Me personally, I like the big rims on the classic cars. I've come to find, going to car shows, a lot of people don't like that. Older generation. I like it, okay? So if I was to buy smoothies or steelies, I would go with like a 20, maybe a 22. I don't know. So that would be option 2, option B. However, third option would be like a staggered wheel or like a spoke wheel, not like wire spokes, although I do dig the wire spokes. However, if you've seen the price tag on wire wheels, is a lot. So we ain't doing that. We ain't throwing 14-inch or 13-inch Daytons on this thing, Vogues, whatever. We're not going that route. I'm thinking more like spokes, like a Hellcat style wheel, or like the wheel that I have in my C10. Again, a 20-inch probably. However, these wheels are a 5-on-5 bolt pattern, and if you don't know a 5-on-5 bolt pattern, there are not a lot of options out there with the correct back spacing and offset and all that kind of thing. So that's kind of my thought. So I would like your help. Like I said, comment below. What would you like to see on this car? I'm undecided. I'm curious to see what other people have to say. Alright, let's get into some dent repair. First dent we're going to start with is this one right here. This was like this when I bought it. Apparently a tree fell on here, which is why all of this is all beat up. Broke the windshield. They got a new windshield and broke that windshield when they put it in. Sounds like something I would do. Now this is creased in here pretty good, so I think the easiest way to get this all pushed out would be from the underside, which means I got to pull the headliner out. So I'm going to pull the visors down, those couple interior pieces, dome light, and the hook, and this should just come out of here. Hopefully that will give me access to the back side of this. So we're going to start there and see what happens. As you can see, I got the headliner pushed back. That went fairly smooth and gives us a whole bunch of access to this big dent here. Unfortunately, where it's really pushed in is actually up inside here behind this reinforcement. So I'm going to try to just get a pry bar up in here. It's probably not going to work. It's probably just going to bend this all to hell. But I could also maybe get a punch up in there and try to punch this up. This is damaged here a little bit, which unfortunately is going to be underneath here. So I don't know. I did start pushing this dent out, which already came a little bit. Now I'm just going to use a dolly and a hammer. Now this is probably not the right hammer. I am not a body guy. This is not a how to fix dent video. I am not that guy. Watch somebody else if you actually truly want to know how to get dents out. I'm just kind of working with what I got. I've never really done this before, so I'm just winging it. But I am going to work on that portion there for a while, see where we get. Alright, I don't know what I'm doing. Looks really bad from the bottom. I'm not looking for perfection here by any means, okay? Just get it close, bondo it, it'll be good enough. Actually, that is not great, but it's not bad either. Because this was creased over, this is all going to be stretched now. So I think the only real way to do this is to shrink this with one of them big old discs and whatnot. I don't know. I've seen other people do it, okay? But like I said, I'm just going to kind of half-ass get it close. Try to get this out. This, sure, good enough, close enough. This, let's try to get that out. I don't know if I should work this down or if I should try to push this up and then work back. I don't know. I might try something. I'm pretty positive it's not going to work, but I bought the stuff to do it, or to at least try it. I don't know, I don't remember if I said anything about this, but about 2 weeks ago I bought this paintless dent repair kit. I wanted to try it on here. Honestly, I don't think it's going to work. So all you people at home right now that are saying that thing ain't going to work, I kind of already assumed that. I think this steel is a heavier gauge than your newer vehicles. Also, with the dents being like creased over, I don't think the glue is going to be sticky enough to pull stuff out, but we're going to give it a shot. So this is just an Amazon cheap kit, 80 some bucks, something like that. Bag comes with a light so you can find the dents. We know where they're at. Manual, a hot glue gun. Comes with all these little pucks. Hot glue. So essentially how this works is you put like hot glue on the end of these pucks. You stick it to the dent, and then you use another tool in here to pull the dent out. There's like a spreader bar kind of thing. Slide hammer, which is what I want to use, I think. Another dent puller thing. I think this is kind of like a plier style. When you squeeze this, it pulls this up. Don't know. More glue. I think you can get different types of glue, so you can get better stickier glue or whatever. Oh, yeah, right here. Black, standard. Ideal for mild temperatures. Yellow, all weather. These, so more or less, this is take out one big long dent, and you can move the tool from end to end to pull it out. More ends. Now these have different colors too, so I don't know why. Are pink bigger and black or small? I don't know. This thingamajinger, which is for this thingamajinger. Oh, a pump. A wedge pump. Pump wedge. Microfiber. Some more ends. Spray bottle for something. Gloves. More ends. More ends. More ends. And more ends. A little baby suction cup. This thing looks huge on the ad, but it's tiny. Baby hammer. Might actually use this. That's it. Alright, so I need to figure out how the hell to use this thing. So let me get my ducks in a row here. I gotta clean that up really good for the glue to stick. And we'll give this a shot. Okay, first things first, you grab your light that they provide without batteries. Find your dent. Oh, there it is, right there. Then you grab your glue. And again, they have different glues. Some are stickier than others. And then you grab your applicable puller tab. They got big ones, small ones. They got different designs on here. I don't know. Glob this thing up with glue. Like, I'm going to put a shit ton on here. Then you stick it where your dent is. Get glue all over everything else. All over my good paint. Let that dry up. The blow is extra crucial. This ain't gonna work. Nice. If I can just pull it right off. I don't even know if there's a sense in trying. I don't know if the glue is supposed to wrap around to the top of it. Or how this is supposed to work. It's probably not going to work. Okay, now you grab your applicable puller tool. There's a slide hammer, there's like a screw base thing, there's the other thing, I don't know. This thing ain't going to work. Slide this on here and just pull that thing right off. This is stupid. This ain't gonna work. Try this big bastard. Ah! Ooh, that's still hot. Let it cool before you go sticking your fingers in it. Let's see what happens. I bet you it comes right off. Yep. Okay. We're done with that piece of shit. All right, as I dug deeper in the kit, I found a different one that I think actually, this one actually might work. Glue. Where'd my glue stick go? There it is. All right, let's see here. There we go. Oh. Ooh, that one gets hotter than the glue stick. Ooh. I don't know how good these tacks are. Let's try that one. Take my slide hammer here. Goes right on there. Wow. Wow. That thing's in there. Ooh. No wonder why them glue things weren't working. I got a bigger slide hammer, although I don't know that thread. If I cut that bolt head off, would it thread right on? I doubt it. No. But I could make something. Boy, oh boy, are we cooking with something this time. I got my big slide hammer, 2 nuts welded together, with a bolt welded to that, with a bolt welded to the roof of the car. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm probably going to end up cutting this all out and just replacing this whole piece. I know where one of these cars are. So, this is kind of just for fun at this point. I've just boogered this all up. And it would have, honestly, would have saved me more time just to go out, cut the hood out of that other car, and did it that way. But we are where we are. Wow. How is that hard to pull? Ouch, that hurts your hands. Ouch. Wow, how is it that hard? Pull the dent out. Hey, she's coming up now. Ouch. It looks terrible, but it actually did come up. Whew. Wow, that looks terrible. I'd have to weld another one in there, pull this back. I'd actually have to get right down inside there to pull them both up. Wow. That's bad. That's enough. You know, I'll be honest though, compared to what it was, it's a night and day difference. It's just not great. It's not even good. Jeez. Good morning. Travis and I are out here in Junkyard World looking for parts. So yesterday, as I was cutting on that roof, I decided I should just go cut a roof section out of a car that I know is out here. And this is that car. This hood's missing for a good reason. I took it. Although somebody put a four-wheeler in here. Nice. This is not a wagon. This is just a sedan. But I think this roof is all the same. And it looks pretty damn good. And half the window's already out of it, so that's nice. But there is also a wagon up over there that I looked at last time I was here. However, I don't remember what it's missing or what it has or what shape it's in. So I'm going to wander up there right now and take a look. Well, here's that wagon. Travis is actually over here. He's going to cut the roof section out of this Caprice to more or less up in this area. His car is all rotted out, so he's grabbing that roof section out of this one. One Caprice out here. We were out here, I don't know, a month ago or so, and we could not find any Caprices, and then we randomly just walked up on this, which we actually walked up on this coincidentally because one of the other times we were here, this was sitting outside waiting to get scrapped, and I actually went in and tried to buy it, but they wouldn't sell it to me. And by God, here it is, right next to the car we were looking for. Perfect. So let's go take a look at this roof section over here. Well, this roof section looks really nice also. I would prefer to take this one because I know it's the same car. I don't know that this is any different on a sedan versus a wagon. However, not really sure what I want to do here. What's the headliner in this thing? I'd like to not burn these cars to the ground. I could probably rip that headliner out. I think I'm going to go after this one. Well, I got my piece of roof section, kind of boogered this up a little bit, but I think we can make it work. I also got a pillar cover, the one that I wanted on that car that I cut this roof section out. I cut right through it like a jackass. So that one will work. We'll paint that up, make that work. But Trav's gonna go ahead and cut this piece out, and I think that's about it. Yo, good morning. Actually, probably afternoon. Yesterday, Travis and I took a trip out to the junkyard. I cut out this roof skin to put into here. Travis actually got some roof skin for his Caprice because that's all rotted out. However, when we got back here, we started beating on this a little bit, more or less for fun. We are not body people. I've never really done dent repair in my life. So we're just kind of having fun. If we screw it up, we screw it up. We got this piece to put in here. However, we actually got this thing pretty decent in my opinion. It's not great, it's not fantastic, but it doesn't look half bad. So the plan is to not put that in here, and we're going to leave this alone. There is a little hammer and dolly work I can do like in this area. However, it's hard to get up there because there's this other inner structure that I kind of got all bent down. So it's hard to get a dolly in here and hang on to it and beat on it. Really what I need to do, and what I'm going to do, is I'm going to take this piece of trim and kind of use it as a template, but I need to fix these edges here. So I'm probably just going to build this up with weld in these holes, and take my roll lock there and smooth this all out. Like I said, it's not going to look perfect, but at the end of the day, I mean, look at this thing. The bottom of the doors are rotted right out. I mean, how perfect does it really need to be? So that's the plan. Again, it's not great, it's not perfect, but with some Bondo, I think I can hide a lot of this. And other people are going to look at this and say, wow, that looks like shit. How could you leave that like that? Blah, blah, blah. You should never touch a body hammer in your life. But I'm going to tell you something. Probably 25% of those people saying that have never done this before. They have a project out in the garage right now they're not working on. They're sitting on their ass watching me. And you don't get better at doing this kind of stuff unless you do it and figure out what works and what doesn't. So, suck on that one. That's the plan. So I'm going to get my welder out. I'm going to weld up this edge here, weld these holes in, and by that time it will be tea time because it is a really nice day out and we're not going to get too many nice days, and I don't feel like being stuck in the garage working on this. So I'm going to go swing some sticks around, if you know what I'm saying. So let's try to get some work done. I got about 45 minutes before I gotta scoot. Well, still working at this, but it is looking better in this corner. However, what I didn't realize is around this pillar, there's actually, I doubt it's lead, but some sort of solder material that bonds this pillar to this roof. So I cannot weld right in this area. So that kind of sucks. So I'm either going to have to figure out how to fill that, or we just body fill it, honestly. But I'm still working at this. The battery in my roll-lock died, which is fine because I got a tea time, so I got to go. We'll be back on this when I get back. Good morning. Once again, regardless how this turns out. So yesterday after swinging the sticks, I started messing with this a little more, and I got it to a point where it was like, okay. If you recall, this seam here is actually like a lead solder mixture. And I started looking into that more and realized that the solder mixture for this is actually the same solder that I have from, if you don't recall, I used to work for a company that made circuit boards for aerospace, defense, networking, medical, a whole bunch of stuff like that. I used to fix the machines, which I should have had no part doing. But we are where we are. Anyway, so I started looking into that mixture, and I was trying my hand at soldering this back together. As you can see, it actually doesn't look terrible, and I'm kind of to a point now where when I do any more, it just gets worse. However, I'm going to try my luck one last time because I got some pinholes in here, and this, honestly, I might try to just leave alone because it doesn't look terrible. But I'm going to try my hand one more time at this, and I actually also have a hole right down in this corner, which I probably won't be able to get, but I'm going to give it a shot. So if you haven't noticed watching my videos, about 99.999999% of the time, I'm doing something that I've never done before, or working on something I've never worked on before. And that's kind of the fun of it. It's just learning new skills and figuring out what works and what doesn't work, and hopefully that kind of gives you a little ambition to go try things yourself. Everything I do will help me in the future. So, soldering this thing back together, what I found works the best is just a wire wheel. You want to get this super clean. If it's not clean, your solder is not going to stick. So if it's not clean, you're already behind. Like, it's not going to work. So I'm just going to wire wheel the crap out of this with this. And my battery died, which is fine. Okay, so now my torch. I had been trying to put a little bit of flux on here. I don't know if it's helping or not. And for this go around, I'm just not going to. Now typically, like if you're soldering copper pipes and stuff, you get the metal as hot as you possibly can and then throw solder at it. This I've noticed is a little different. You don't really want to get this too hot because then your solder just turns liquidous and it just runs off. So I've been trying to go at this with more or less lower heat, and it's been kind of working okay. I took the solder that I had and bent it over a few times and twisted it all together. And I just more or less heat this up and just glob the living crap out of this. You can sand it down. I've been using a Scotch-Brite, red Scotch-Brite on a roll-lock, which has been working pretty damn good. It's pretty easy to sand all this solder down. So let's see how big of a mess I can make. I want to try not to really touch this because I think that's about as good as it's going to get. But let's see how bad I can screw this up now that I got it half decent. So I'm going to try to go like lower heat. And there's already a bunch of solder in here, so when I get this hot, chances are it's all going to run out, and then I'm going to get frustrated. And this is going to look like crap. And I've kind of been starting high because it runs down. More or less start high and just let it run down. And this is an art all on its own. Alright. I'm just going to cut my losses and call it good enough there. That hole is not going to solder up, but I'll clean this all up now with Scotch-Brite, and however it turns out is more or less how we're going to keep it. Now, obviously you don't want to do this near a windshield you care about. That hole did not solder closed, and honestly at this point, now that I have all this solder in here, I'm probably not going to be able to weld it closed either. I might give it a shot, but it ain't going to happen. Now I'm just going to take my roll lock, Scotch-Brite like I said, and just clean all this up. Alright, good enough. I'm not going to make it any better than that. Like I said, every time I touch it, it gets worse, which actually this time it kind of did. So that's going to be as far as we're going to go. I might try to just ping some welding here, but it ain't going to happen. I'm going to do it, but it ain't going to work. Getting into that solder. Alright, I'm going to cut my losses right there. Good enough. Looks alright. I'll clean this up. Okay, stop being a perfectionist. Take this off. Okay, good enough. We're not touching it anymore. I'm done with it. We got one final step here. The previous owner was nice enough to leave me some paint. So we'll just, paint match this. However, we don't have enough in here. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh, Rogie. That's gonna look terrible. Let's see if I got another can. I don't think I do. Oh, I do. Left me 2 cans. Try not to spray my windows. Now I'm not spraying this on here obviously to hide it. More or less I'm spraying this on here because eventually I want to paint this car and I don't want this to start rusting on me. That's really the only reason I'm doing this. And I got it on there real thick, like real thick. So add some more, smart. Perfection. Well, there it is, the final-ish product, I guess you'd call it, because obviously when I go to paint this car, I'll body fill and sand all this out so it'll look better than it does now. But for the time being, this is a night and day difference, and I can say I'm pretty happy with it, honestly. Well, this isn't how I wanted this video to end up. However, when you don't have a plan and you don't know what you're doing, it's kind of how it turns out. I wanted to get into the passenger doors because they don't open from the outside, and the front passenger door has a big dinger way up at the top. I want to try to work that out, but I spent way too much time working on this already. However, I am glad that we did not use that roof skin. I should have used it. I would have got a better product, better result. However, I didn't really want to cut all this out. So I'm glad that this turned out the way it did, even though it's not great, it's not perfect. But again, look at the whole car. I mean, it is what it is. It's not going to be a perfect car. Fenders, I've been having a hard time trying to find fenders. I found one fender, brand new, well not brand new, used one on eBay. They wanted 600 bucks for it. I will paint this whole car as is before I spend $600 on a fender. So, I don't know, the hood, I already have a hood. It's just these fenders. Maybe I can try to pound this out, but man, they're dinged up pretty damn good. So I don't know what we're going to do there. But, it's kind of all I got. If you like these videos, if you like watching them, if you're coming back and watching them, please subscribe. Appreciate it. But this garage looks like a tornado went off in here. And now I got to get to cleaning some of this stuff up. So I'll catch you on the next one.